He chose the maid over 5 perfect women and broke his father's heart in 30 seconds. Leo, my boy, it's time. Pick your new mother. 8-year-old Leo shuffled forward in dinosaur pajamas, 2 sizes too big, barefoot, toes curling against cold stone. One hand clutched a crumpled crayon drawing. The other twisted the hem of his shirt. His hazel eyes, Clara's eyes, didn't linger on the red soles or diamond chokers. They slid past the glamour, past the future Mrs. Harringtons, and locked on the shadow by the grandfather clock. Maria, apron stained with tonight's spaghetti sauce, eyes red from holding back tears, pretending to polish silver that didn't need polishing. Victor clapped once. The sound cracked like a whip. Let's begin. First came Vanessa, 29, lips plump to cartoon perfection, laugh tinkling like champagne flutes. She knelt, careful not to wrinkle her dress, and presented a gaming console wrapped in gold ribbon. This is every game in the world, sweetie. We'll play all night. Leo stared at the box like it was a foreign language. He mumbled thanks and stepped back. Doctor. Elena next. 35, lab coat swapped for a blazer that screamed boardroom. She crouched to eye level, voice clinical. Attachment forms through consistent neural pathways. I can optimize your emotional development. Leo blinked. Do you know where my nightlight is? She straightened, confused. Nightlights are for infants. Lila floated in on barefoot grace, 31, leggings printed with mandalas. Let's breathe together, little soul. She guided Leo into downward dog. His arms shook, and he scraped the rug, and he burst into tears. Lila froze. Sage cleansing later? Sabrina's turn. 27, voice like melted caramel. She sang the chorus of her latest hit. Notes soared, perfect pitch, zero warmth. Leo jammed fingers in his ears and rocked on his heels. Last, Isabella, 33, heiress to 3 private islands, boredom already glazing her eyes. I have a pony. Pink. Flies first class. Leo whispered. I'm allergic to hay. Isabella shrugged. We'll buy hypoallergenic hay. Victor's patience frayed like cheap thread. His Rolex ticked louder than the silence. Leo, choose. The boy's sneakers squeaked. He walked the gauntlet of silk and ambition, past every woman who smelled like money in magazine pages. At the end of the line stood Maria, hands folded so tight her knuckles blanched. Leo stopped, reached, tugged her apron string like it was the only rope to safety. I choose you. A crystal tumbler slipped from Vanessa's manicured fingers and exploded into 1,000 apologies. Dr. Elena's mouth opened, closed, opened again. Lila gasped so hard her crystals clinked. Sabrina's backup track skipped in her head. Isabella checked her phone. Victor's face cycled through colors no billionaire should wear. She's the help. Maria sank to her knees, apron pooling like spilled milk. Sir, I never meant. Leo's small arms locked around her neck. She's the only one who stayed when Mommy got sick. She held the bucket. She sang until the machines stopped beeping. The room tilted. Victor's roar rattled the chandeliers. Pack your things. You're gone by dawn. Maria rose, trembling, but Leo clung tighter. You can't fire my mom. Flashback, 3 years earlier. Clara's hospital room smelled like antiseptic and wilted roses. Chemo had stolen her hair, her laugh, her tomorrow. Maria sat on the plastic chair, holding Clara's hand while Victor paced conference calls in the hallway. Send me home, Maria, Clara whispered. So Maria sang Baje Kubo, voice cracking, until Clara's grip went slack and the monitors flatlined. Victor burst in too late. Ty Askew, shouting at doctors who couldn't shout back. Back in the marble hall, Maria's voice barely rose above a whisper. I'll leave, sir. But Leo, security. Victor barked. 2 guards materialized, polished shoes squeaking. Maria kissed Leo's forehead, tasting salt from both their tears. Be brave, Mijo. They pried him off. His screams chased her down the corridor like ghosts. Midnight. Rain hammered the mansion's stained glass. Maria's tiny suitcase, plastic, cracked, held together with duct tape, waited by the service exit. She wore her only coat, threadbare at the elbows. The butler handed her an envelope, severance pay, enough for 1 month's rent in the city's worst neighborhood. "I'm sorry, Maria." She nodded, throat too full for words. Inside, Leo stood on his balcony, pajamas soaked, watching headlights swallow her taxi. He clutched the crayon drawing, stick figure Maria with a broom halo, Clara waving from a cloud, Victor nowhere. He whispered to the storm, "I'm coming." Victor stormed his study, poured scotch that cost more than Maria's yearly salary, and drank it like water. He found the drawing in the trash, Maria's halo scratched out in red crayon fury. His fist crumpled the paper. Clara's portrait stared from the wall, eyes soft with accusation. Downstairs, the 5 candidates departed in a parade of slammed Lamborghini doors. Vanessa live-streamed her exit. "Toxic energy, babes." Dr. Elena left a business card. "Therapy referral." Lila saged the doorstep. Sabrina's manager called TMZ. Isabella's jet revved on the helipad. Victor stood alone amid the wreckage of his plan. The mansion echoed with Leo's earlier screams. He opened Clara's old jewelry box. Inside, a single dried rose and a note in her handwriting. "Promise me someone will love him like I do." His knees buckled. For the first time since the funeral, Victor Harrington cried. Leo didn't sleep. He stuffed cookies into a backpack, slipped Maria's rosary into his pocket, the one she prayed when nightmares came. He knew the mansion's blind spots, the ivy wall by the koi pond, the service gate the guards left unlocked for smoke breaks. At 3:17 a.m., lightning flashed. Leo climbed. Wet leaves slapped his face. He dropped in the mud, rolled, and ran up. Maria's new room smelled like bleach and despair. One bulb, one window overlooking a dumpster. She counted coins for tomorrow's bus fare. Her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. "Don't eat the green jello. It's poison." Elsie smiled, then sobbed into her pillow. Victor woke to silence. Leo's bed untouched, window open, curtains flapping like surrender. The crayon drawing lay on the pillow, Maria's halo restored in fresh yellow. Security footage showed a small shadow scaling the wall. Victor's roar rattled the crystal again. "Find my son." But the guards hesitated. They'd seen Maria rock Leo through fevers, seen her skip meals to buy him books. One guard muttered, "Maybe the kid's right." Victor fired him on the spot. Dawn painted the city bruised purple. Leo hitched a ride with the gardener who used to sneak him extra cookies. "Where to, champ?" "The laundromat on 5th. Mama Maria's there." The gardener drove slow, radio low, tears in his rear view. Maria scrubbed dishes at the 24-hour diner. Hands raw, apron swapped for a hairnet. Tips, $3 and a coupon for free coffee. She tucked the dollars into an envelope marked for Leo's school. Her landlady banged on the door earlier. "Rent or out?" Maria had nodded, already counting hours until the next shift. Leo navigated the city with a map drawn in purple crayon. He dodged traffic, shared a sandwich with a homeless vet who said, "Love ain't got a price tag, kid." A busker played Clara's favorite song on a battered guitar. Leo dropped his last quarter, stood frozen until the final note faded. Fever crept in, rain-soaked clothes, empty stomach. By dusk, Leo collapsed outside Suds and Bubbles' laundromat, backpacks spilling cookies. Maria stepped out for air and saw him, curled like a kitten, lips blue. She scooped him up, legs buckling under his weight, and her heart break. "Mijo, what did you do?" Inside, she wrapped him in her only clean towel, saying "Bahe Kubo" until his teeth stopped chattering. He woke long enough to whisper, "I chose you because you never chose to leave." Maria's tears dripped onto his hair. "I'm just a maid. You're my mom. Titles are for dads who buy ponies." Headlights swept the laundromat windows. Victor's Maybach screeched to a halt. He burst in, tie askew, eyes wild. "Leo," then stopped. Maria spooned soup from a cracked bowl into Leo's mouth. The boy leaned into her like she was gravity. Victor's voice cracked. "I was wrong." Flashback, Clara's last breath, her plea. He sank to the linoleum, $1,000 shoes squeaking. "I thought money could replace her. It can't." Maria didn't look up. I won't clean your floors anymore, but I'll raise your son if you learn to be his father. Victor nodded, tears cutting tracks through day-old stubble. Starting now. 1 year later, the mansion's kitchen smelled like burnt burgers and adobo salvation. Victor flipped patties in an apron that said kiss the cook, or else. Maria stirred rice, laughing as Leo stole peas. The crayon drawing hung on the fridge. Victor's stick figure now had a lopsided smile, labeled learning. Victor took parenting classes, failed the diaper demo twice, cried during the empathy module. Maria moved into the guest house, not the maid's quarters. Leo called them Dad and Mama Maria, interchangeably, voice bright as sunrise. The 5 women? Blocked, forgotten, their silk gowns moth food. Money bought strangers. Love chose the maid with calloused hands and a heart big enough to heal 2 broken Harringtons. Leo's new drawing. 3 stick figures under a yellow sun. Maria's broom halo glowed. Victor's tie was crooked. Leo stood in the middle, arms wide. Caption in wobbly letters. My real family point 3:17 a.m. Lightning sliced the sky like a warning. Leo's dinosaur pajamas clung to his skin, soaked through as he scaled the ivy wall with fingers numb from cold. The backpack, stuffed with chocolate chip cookies and Maria's rosary, bounced against his spine. He dropped into the mud, rolled under the koi pond's bridge, and vanished into the storm before the guards finished their cigarettes. Maria's new room, above Suds and Bubbles' laundromat, smelled of bleach and broken dreams. 1 bare bulb swung overhead, casting shadows that danced like ghosts. She sat on the edge of a mattress thin as regret, counting coins on the blanket. 47 cents, a bus token, 1 crumpled dollar. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. I'm coming. Don't eat the green jello. It's poison. LA laugh escaped her, cracked into a sob. She pressed the phone to her chest and whispered, Mijo, you're killing me. Victor woke to an empty mansion and a silence that screamed. Leo's bed was untouched, window yawning open, rain pooling on the silk rug. On the pillow lay the crayon drawing. Maria's halo, freshly yellow. Victor erased entirely. Victor's roar rattled the crystal decanters. He punched numbers into his phone. Find my son. Now. The head of security hesitated. Sir, the boy. He left with purpose. Victor fired him mid-sentence. The 5 candidates had scattered like expensive confetti. Vanessa posted a tearful TikTok from her jet. Emotional labor isn't in my brand. Dr. Elena emailed a PDF titled Childhood Abandonment Schema. Lila burned sage on the driveway until the sprinklers doused her. Sabrina's publicist leaked a single, Billionaire Baby Blues. Isabella's helicopter lifted off, destination, anywhere else. Victor poured scotch that could buy a small country and stared at Clara's portrait. The dried rose in her jewelry box had turned to dust. He opened the note again. Promise me someone will love him like I do. His knees hit the Persian rug. For the first time since the funeral, the billionaire prayed. Leo hitched a ride with Ramon, the gardener who used to sneak him gummy worms. Where to, Pequeño? 5th and Maple. Mama Marie is there. Ramon drove slow, radio off, tears fogging his glasses. He slipped Leo a 20 for the bus. And tell her Ramon says hi. Leo tucked it into the rosary pouch. The city swallowed him. Neon signs bled red into puddles. He shared a sandwich with a vet named Gus who slept under the overpass. Love ain't got a price tag, kid. Remember that. Leo nodded, mustard on his chin. A busker strummed Clara's favorite song, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, on a guitar missing 2 strings. Leo dropped his last quarter into the case and stood frozen until the final chord faded into traffic. Fever crept in like a thief. Rain-soaked clothes, empty stomach, legs that forgot how to walk straight. By dusk, Leo collapsed against the laundromat's glass door, backpack spilling cookies like breadcrumbs. Maria stepped out for air and saw him. Curled small, lips blue, eyelashes spiked with rain. She scooped him up, legs buckling under the weight of love and heartbreak. Mijo, what did you do? Inside, she wrapped him in her only clean towel, the one with faded daisies. She boiled water on a hot plate, stirred instant soup with a plastic spoon bent from too many uses. Leo woke long enough to whisper, I chose you because you never chose to leave. Maria's tears dripped into the soup. I'm just a maid. You're my mom. Titles are for dads who buy ponies. Headlights swept the laundromat windows like searchlights. Victor's Maybach screeched to a halt, door flying open before the driver stopped. He burst in, Ty Askew, eyes wild with panic and something softer, guilt. Leo then froze. Maria spooned soup into the boy's mouth from a bowl cracked down the middle. Leo leaned into her like she was the only solid thing left in the world. Victor's voice cracked like thin ice. I was wrong. He sank to the linoleum, $1,000 shoes squeaking on spilled detergent. Flashback, Clara's hospital room, machines beeping their countdown, Maria singing Bahe Kubo while Victor shouted at stock prices in the hallway. Clara's last breath. Promise me. Victor's walls crumbled. I thought money could replace her. It can't. Maria didn't look up. I won't clean your floors anymore. But I'll raise your son if you learn to be his father. Victor nodded, tears cutting tracks through day-old stubble. Starting now, 6 months later, the mansion's kitchen smelled like burnt burgers and adobo salvation. Victor flipped patties in an apron that said kiss the cook, or else, smoke billowing. Maria stirred rice, laughing as Leo stole peas straight from a pot. The crayon drawing hung on the fridge. Victor's stick figure now had a lopsided smile and a spatula labeled learning. Victor took parenting classes every Tuesday, failed the diaper demo twice, exploded powder everywhere, cried during the empathy module when they showed a video of a kid losing a balloon. Maria moved into the guest house, not the maid's quarters. She still wore an apron, but now it was for cooking, not scrubbing. Leo called them Dad and Mama Maria interchangeably, voice bright as the new sunrise painting on the wall.